about weakness, you stop some things about for your educational system. So we give you 2 years for a certificate, and after 2 years we again evaluate you for your weakness, and still you didn't improve your weakness, and again we
Cancel.
give your certificate.
This is temporal, temporal accreditation, actually.
Yeah.
But the cycle of this accreditation, for how long?
After the general evaluation, if you enough for accreditation, we will give you 5 years, the certificate for 5 years.
And after 5 years, you say you come and it's okay.
Yeah.
For how long then?
For evaluation,
Most 5 years.
It is after that. It depends your review. Before 5 years, if any institute ask for the institute, I mean the agency to check a point, they do from with visiting or without visiting. But if not, the 5 year is the certification, because it's also temporal. 5 year. After 5 years, it ends.
I will
So
tell
it's a
you.
new, completely new review after 5 years,
Yes.
and all the rules apply. So
Yeah.
if it is okay, you give it a certificate for 5 years.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. If you don't have any deficiency or any weakness, so we will give again your certificate for 5 years. But if you have some weakness,
For 2 years.
yeah, we will arrange it according to
Do,
your.
do you have any visits or reviews within the 5 years?
If necessary, yes. Because I will tell you the cycle, the accreditation process in the next presentation. You will see the process or steps of the accreditation. Yeah. In 5 years, of course, we can come to your university if we.
Hear something about.
Yeah. If you know.
Compliance comes to the.
So either by request from the faculty itself, or any complaints that you may
From
receive.
outside,
Mhm.
from stakeholders.
Because you are interested in your qualification,
Yeah, of course.
that protected.
Yeah, to protect it, yeah.
Yeah, we have to protect it.
Okay.
And if you have same faculties in the separate campuses, for example, in our university, we have some same faculties in different campuses. If you have separate program in the separate same program in the separate campuses, you have to applicate for each program.
So if we have, for example, same faculty, same university, boys separate from girls, is it separate evaluation, separate accreditation?
The name of the faculty is the different?
No. From College of Sharia and Islamic Studies at Qatar University. We've got a building for female students.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, because I read in other
I understand.
in other
It's
documents
okay.
that it
Yeah,
may be
I
different.
mean directly the different faculties in different campuses. Yeah.
But the name of the program is
The
the
same.
same. or
The same, the same,
The same.
same.
The same is not problem.
It's the same program.
Yeah, it's the same program, same faculty, but
It is
It's
in
separate.
my faculty also. الأولاد والبنات and the boys and the girls separated. Yeah, but it's the same program.
yes, it's same program
Yeah.
and almost same faculty members as well, same teacher.
So when you decide to apply to accreditation program, you have to follow these steps of the accreditation procedures. In the first, this is the IAA agency's calendar for the application to the accreditation. In the first, you have to give the institutional demand to accreditation. After your demand or after your request, you have to prepare a summary report about your faculty. So the IAA agency will examine your summary report, and they can request some different information from your faculty. And then until the end of the February, they will announce about your accreditation process. They can accept or they can decline your request. If you don't have any deficiency, they will give you some information about the fee procedures and also the application procedures. After the announcement of the IAA agency, so you have to give the response of the institution to IAA again until the end of March. When you say, yeah, okay, we acceptance your
Report.
your
Application.
Application.
your application. So we will start to give you education and start to accreditation process.
Sorry,
Yeah.
to move from the second step to the third step, we need to fulfill all the requirements for IAA. But if they have insufficient of requirement, they give them time to provide it, or you need to reapply it again.
I will tell now. When you acceptance our application procedures, so we will request from yourself the self-evaluation report about your faculty. It is the specified format according to IAA agency, and until the end of August, the IAA agency, IAC, I will tell you what it means of IAC. IAC examines your report and gives the result reports to IAA, and IAA will announce you are enough or not enough for accreditation. If you have some deficiency or weakness according to your report, so we give you 15 days for complete your deficiencies or weakness. Within the 15 days, if you can complete your deficiency or weakness, you can, if you can give again to us a report, so we can accept your application procedures. But if your deficiency is very big and you couldn't complete it within the 15 days, so we decline your application, and in the next application time, you have to applicate again. Yeah, it depends to your self-evaluation report. Yeah, first we have to examine your self-evaluation report.
In the first step, what sort of informations you need in the summary about?
Yeah, it's according to your outcomes, your program outcomes, and according to your objectives, we will examine your report. You really can measure your outcomes, program outcomes, or your objectives. If you are really enough in these topics, we applicate, we accept.
Yeah, so it's like a checklist you provide.
Yeah. Of course, we have a checklist. Yeah. For example, there are 10 criteria for acceptance your accreditation application. For example, the very important criteria, if you can complete your very important criteria, we directly accept and give you a little time for to complete the others. But if you can't complete your very important criteria for accreditation, directly we decline your request for demand. Yeah, it depends the criteria, it's changed. And when you demand us for the accreditation, we will send you the criteria and the checklist for your self-evaluation. And before the accreditation, applicant to accreditation, we will come to your university and we will give you the education about the accreditation procedures. You already will know everything about the accreditation process.
So the application should contain descriptive information for the institution. It's not assessment. We say that this is our goal, these are our learning outcomes, this is our administrative system, we do this, but we do not self-assess our program. It's the second step.
I don't know.
I am asking.
What do you mean with self-assessed?
In the application, we are not in a stage to be assessed. We just say, we are here, this is our institution, these are our goals, these are our objectives, are our outcomes, these are our administrative system, whatever, according to the standards that you decide, IAA decide. Then we invite you to come and assess all of this here. We don't assess them at that stage. The first stage is to give the application.
No, you assess.
Or we give initial assessment.
Yeah.
بعض المؤسسات ممكن تطلب هذا من البداية. تعالوا يعني وأعطونا المعلومات اللازمة من البداية حتى نؤسس أو نحسن النظام، نبدأ بنظام الجودة، ننشئ بعض وحدات للجودة، كيف ننشئها وما إلى ذلك. أو قد يكون بعض المؤسسات تقول يعني أنا أستطيع بنفسي أن أنفذ هذه المعايير بنفسي ولا أطلب منكم المساعدة من البداية. يعني ميشن الوكالة هي إعطاء المعلومات اللازمة، هذه المرحلة الأولى، والثانية التقييم الخارجي، إرسال المقيم الخارجي، والثالث الأكريديتيشن، الاعتماد. قد تكون هناك مؤسسة تطلب مقيم خارجي من البداية.
أنا سؤالي دكتور، في المرحلة الأولى إحنا الآن فيش ولا كونتاكت بيننا، إحنا لا يوجد أي اتصال بيننا.
نعم.
نحن الآن اكتشفنا الوكالة.
نعم.
نريد مراجعة.
نعم.
would like to submit an application.
طيب.
Does the application contain any assessment, any initial assessment, or we should tell you, we describe ourselves. This is our college, the college is called so and so, as you described before in previous presentation.
نعم.
We have 2 or 3 or 4 undergraduate programs. These are the objectives of the programs, these are the outcomes of the programs, this is our administrative system. But so far, we haven't provided any assessment, any evaluation of the program. Please come and evaluate us. We apply for evaluation. At this stage, is that enough?
No.
من البداية بعد ما تعرف البرنامج الوكالة تعطيك مدة معينة وتطلب منك السيرة الذاتية على الفورمات اللي تريده. يعني كل شيء لازم تكون موجودة في تلك السيرة الذاتية حتى نهاية ايش؟ نهاية ايش؟ until when
I'm asking that in January. I'm asking between January and February. We submit the application in January. What do we submit first?
there is استمارة فقط فيها المعلومات عن البرنامج فقط.
This is so no assessment.
Nothing else.
I don't know. There is no assessment in the first stage. Yeah.
There is no assessment, but there is a mention for all the criteria.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
The criteria.
Evaluation begins with the report. After report,
We mention the criteria, but we do not provide any evidence that we've achieved this criteria. It's not this at this stage.
no.
Later on, we'll tell you, we'll give you the evidence.
Yeah.
These are the evidence that we achieved.
Evaluation report.
In the IAC examines your report. The IAC is the Islamic Sciences Accreditation Committee. Now it is the National Accreditation Committee, but in the future we will arrange it according to International Accreditation Committee. Because all of you now are the external evaluator, so we have to include yourself to this committee also. Some of the evaluators, the international evaluators, will be included this committee, and we will manage together the reports, international reports. After the acceptance of your accreditation, the evaluator team will be formed until the end of September, and
After you accept the application, not the accreditation.
sorry.
after you accept the application
Yeah,
or
after the application. The application for the accreditation, we will form the evaluator team, the team leader and the evaluators, and then they will check your reports that you send via online to the evaluators. They will evaluate your documents via online. Now it is starting to evaluation process for the accreditation. In this time, it is starting for the evaluation for assessment. And then when they examine your reports and documents, and the faculty dean and the team leader, they arrange the visiting time and the communication system, for example. And IAA provides transportation and the communication for the evaluation, and then evaluation process or assessment process starts after these steps. The evaluation team,
Is this process, I mean accreditations, IAA
Uh-huh.
asks us to pay fees for these accreditations, or it's completely free for?
Yeah, she said that.
in the first process, we will request the fee for the accreditation. All of the steps is included in this fee. When you pay the fee, we will arrange everything according to this fee. We will not again request the fee for the other steps.
If they
But
fail,
this fee يعني هذا تؤخذ عشان
To cover the expenses.
عشان الفريق عشان
مواصلات،
عشان
انتقال.
المواصلات والانتقال
Yeah.
وعشان الهوتيل وما إلى ذلك يعني ما يتحدى إلى الربحية. So
Non-profit.
the accreditation is free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because الفريق يذهب عليه أن يذهب إلى هناك وعليه أن يكون مستقل ويأكل بنفسه ويبقى في الأوتيل بنفسه بدون طلب من
احيانا يكون هناك دعوات
أحيانا
احيانا
يكون
يكون دعوات لكن
Yes, that fee is not for accreditation. It's for accommodation, for transportation, for example. So the evaluation team, there is one team leader and 3 or 2 evaluators. It depends for the general evaluation or the mid evaluation. The team evaluation, the IAC suggests the team evaluation leader in the evaluator repository, and the evaluation teams will choose from the evaluator repository by the IAC again, but IAA will decide the team leader and the evaluator. For example, after this education, you will be the international evaluator, and you will be include the evaluator repository. And when we go to do any faculty for the accreditation, we will choose someone from this repository for the evaluation. And after the education, they can evaluate any faculty as an evaluator. But team leader have to be experienced for the evaluation, external evaluation, and also he have to be the member of the IAC.
If we've got same faculty but more than one program, you send separate teams or
Yeah.
one team to evaluate
Yeah,
all programs?
you have to apply for each program separate.
One team for each program.
Each program, for
but
example.
it can be the same team for 2 programs. It can be.
But not it's same time, it's different time.
Its calendar must be different.
Yeah, it's not the same time. Maybe the first week for this program, the second week for the
Yeah,
second
Yes,
it
program.
can be,
yes.
it can be, uh-huh.
It's like this.
The number of the members can decrease or increase according to general evaluation of the or mid evaluation, because the general evaluation take a long time and very procedures. So we have need more evaluator for the evaluation this program. But in the mid evaluation, I told you after the general evaluation, we come again for mid evaluation. So we already know very well about your faculty, so there is no need more evaluator. The 2 evaluators and 1 team leader is enough for the evaluation.
And sometimes we don't need all the members all the time.
Yeah, that's right. And the team leader, for example, some of you will be the member of the IA and will be the team leader in the evaluation process. So when you be the team leader, you have to organize the meeting before the site visit and after the site visit. It is very important for the communication or for examining some documents for the evaluation. And the team leaders also ensures the communication between the stakeholders during the assessment process, and also team leader carries out the necessary checks to ensure that the visit takes place as planned. And also team leader also ensures the evaluation is realistic and in the right way. The evaluator have their evaluation with realistic and in the right side, in the right criteria, according to right criteria. And also, team leader have to complete the exit notice. The exit notice is very important step of the evaluation, because according to exit notice, the faculty will take accreditation or not. So that is very important and very big responsibility of the team leader. But if you will be not the team leader or evaluator, you have to be refers to the competent person assigned to the evaluation team. You have to experience about the evaluation. You have to take some education about the evaluation. And also, the evaluators is selected from the evaluator repository according to the number of programs of the faculty to be evaluated. And the evaluator have to evaluate the faculty within the criteria of the IAA agency. According to IAA agency, he has to evaluate the faculty. And also, evaluator have to help the team leader for the preparing the exit notice. He or she don't directly respond or responsible from the exit notice, but he has to help the team leader to complete the exit notice.
Yeah, but the final report, I think it's the team leader who writes it.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
two questions. Do you send to the faculty the list of the auditors before they start?
Yeah.
Because to avoid just conflict of...
Yeah, because of the ethical values we have to send. For example, we will come to your country or your faculty and we will choose an evaluator from your country. If he worked with your faculty before, or if he was a student in your faculty, we have to reject that evaluator because of the ethical values.
This is for IAA, but what about the faculty itself? It has right to reject a member or the...
Yeah, it has to reject the members, because we will send the name and the information of the evaluator, and when the faculty check the evaluator, he can reject.
Faculty cannot reject directly, but they can submit their propose to EIA, and EIA then evaluate the faculty's opinion. Then they can admit or reject.
So they have right to propose
To reject the member.
Not the name of the team.
Yes, the name of team.
The faculty?
Yeah, no, the agency, when agency fixed the name of the members of the evaluators,
No,
the faculty, yes.
The faculty suggestion for reject because of some evidences.
Yeah.
With evidences, yes.
Yeah, he have to give us some evidences for rejecting, and if we accept that evidences, so we can reject the evaluators. But not all before of the experience of all the other situations. Only for the ethical values you can reject.
يعني إذا رفضت لسبب يعني مش منطقي يعد عيب في الكلية.
Yes.
And when we choose the evaluators from the evaluator repository, we have to carry about balance between the evaluators. For example, we have to carry their human structure. For example, we have to choose some angry or funny evaluators from the repository. And about the demographic balance, we have to care about demographic balance, for example, gender, age, education. And also we have to care about their experience about their faculty. If you are directly experienced in that faculty, we have to choose that one because of the
Sometimes because of the language.
the language of the education. And the qualifications of evaluation team, when we choose yourself from the evaluation repository, you have to be experienced about the assurance and external evaluation, or you have to take some education about the external evaluation. And also the evaluator have to adopt the ethical principles. Because before the accreditation, we will sign a document for the ethical principles, and you will declare us I am the adopt of the ethical principles.
Consent.
Content.
Agreement.
That's right. And the evaluator to be open the cooperation and teamwork, because when you go to the evaluation to a faculty, you will see some faculties are very close for the evaluation. They will not want to evaluate from the external evaluator. They would like to close themselves to you. So you have to be open to communicate with that faculty or the staff or students or the other manager in the faculty. And also you have to strong communication skills, because you have to be open-eyed and you have to be care in everything, because you are going to there for the find some evidences. You have to be open. And also you have to care about the time management, because you will only have 3 days, and in 3 days you have to evaluate the faculty. You have to meeting with the students and the persons. And you have to write your exit notice in 3 days. So you have to really very care about the time of the evaluation, and also organization skills. This is my topic. Any question?
Can you send the presentation slides of all these?
Of course, why not?
Thank you.
I can. ستضع كل السلايدز على الموقع. Any question?
Thank you.
Thank you.
نشكر الدكتورة بحر تشيليك على ما قدمت. والآن مع استراحة قصيرة لمدة 15 دقيقة لشرب الشاي والقهوة، على أن تبدأ الجلسة الثالثة في الساعة 12:10.